Okay, I'm going to start with one of the full blocks so I can get everything situated as to which order I want to have the feathers flowing. If I start at the top, I will get confused, so I'm going to do this. Now, what I want, I'm going to use this arc ruler here, and I'm just going to draw this in here as kind of an example of what I'm doing. These feathers are going to have a spine, and that spine's going to go from corner to corner. Now when I quilt these in using this ruler is I'm going to have to, I'll have to pull it up by 1/4 of an inch so that my needle will hit this line here. And let me draw this one in. So we're going to have that. Now I need to watch where the feathers are coming, so because I want the feathers to all flow where they're meeting, so they're going to go like this. So these feathers will meet up to the ones that are already quilted in the block, so they're going to go like that. And these feathers will start here and they will go this direction. So this arc will be the spine of all the feathers. So that gives me the idea of how I want these to go. So they're going in opposite directions. I think that will look better. So this is going to go this direction. And then this one will go this direction. So I make all of these decisions as I go. I try and I plan out ahead of time, but when I start working on the quilt, I realize there are situations I haven't taken into consideration, and then I change my mind. So, and that's fine. There's no reason why you can't do that, especially if it makes your design look better. That's what you need to do. Okay, so that's how that feather is going to look, and then there will be another arc. This arc will be about 1/4 of an inch out. This will give me some negative space to separate the feathers from the filler design. That's going to go like that. And that's going to go like that. So what I wanted to do is cross hatch, and if I go point to point, this cross hatch is just going to go like this. Now the strawberry basket blocks, okay, if you see these, they're going this direction. So this is the way I want the cross hatch to go. So I'm going to get a ruler, and I'm going to quilt these about 1/2 inch apart, and they're going to go this way. So I'm going to find the center of my block, which should be right about here. I'm judging by the piecing, actually. This is just an estimate. I will measure this out when I start quilting it. But we're going to go this direction. And this is just for visual purposes so that you can see. I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise in the background. My daughter is just running all over the house. I'm not sure what she's up to. But for somebody who only weighs 85 pounds, she can make a lot of noise. Okay, so we got that direction, and then we'll go this direction. So I will actually start in the middle. Here she goes again. And so it's going to look something like that. I hope you can see that. This is, I know this pen is kind of light, but that's my reasoning for having the crosshatch go this way is because of the piecing in the top part of the blocks. I want that to match up. If I did it this way, I think it would look kind of strange. So now that I've got this block drawn out, that is my guide to do this block up here. This is the one that I was going to start in the corner and work around, but I thought I better get this one worked out, visually worked out, so that I can see where I'm at, so that I don't get these feathers turned, because I really do not want to rip anything out. And so this arc is going to go here and here. And this part of the block is this part here. So we're going to start this here. That's where the feathers are going to start. And they'll end here. And with this feather in this corner block, they're going to start here. So now I have my starting points on all of my blocks, and hopefully I will not get confused and have to rip a bunch of stuff out. And then when we get to the side blocks, I know where I'm going here too, because those are just going to follow along with what I've been doing on the others. So we're going to do that. So I'm all set to go. I'm going to go ahead and quilt this one in first so that you can see that. And I'm going to move the camera to the other side of the table. I know my arm keeps getting in the way when I have the camera set where it is right now. So I will reset the camera in a different direction, and I'll be right back. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is quilt in my spine. So I'm going to start up here and work my way around. And I'm going to use this arc ruler. This is the Arch Guide by Linda's Electric Quilters. And I use this one quite frequently for arcs and circles and things. So, and I'm going to do my best to follow that line I have drawn. Okay, then we're going to do the next one. And I'm not worrying if these arcs overlap a little bit at the corner. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. And that's because it's just a small amount of space. It's not very much. And I am in stitch regulated mode, so I can take my time and not have to fight the speed of the machine. Now this pen is already starting to fade, so once I mark these, I have to work fairly quickly. And I'm going to come back up to lock my stitches. And then that's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the next arc here too, just for security reasons. Now you can start wherever you want. I know some people don't like to start in a corner. It's kind of how I was taught, so I tend to do that. But you could start anywhere along there and hide your stops and starts. Stop there. Now, if you're comfortable with doing this freehand, you can certainly do that. Okay, now I could just go ahead immediately and start my cross hatching, but I want to get these feathers in first for this block, and then I'll do the cross hatch. And you could do curved cross hatching in here. That would look nice too. Okay, my starting points are at the sides, so I'm going to start over here. And I know I have these feathers already drawn in, but I'm just going to do this freehand. I'm not going to worry about following exactly on the lines. There we go. And I'm going to follow this down to the seam, and then I'm going to travel down the ditch to get to this point. And then I will travel back to another point. You should see how I'm holding the machine here. I'm trying to work around my light here, and I have my arm in a real odd position. Okay, now I can, I'm going to go ahead and quilt this feather in, then I'm going to follow the ditch down here and do this one, and then follow this stitch and do that one. What I'm trying to avoid is putting more than 2 layers of thread in this seam. I could go, come back down here, but I don't want to, that would give that 3 layers of thread in there, and I don't want to do that, so. A little one right in there too. Okay, feathers are done. And this is what we have. So that looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and draw my center line, go in both directions to give me a starting point. Now if you've got a stencil that you can use, that'll work too. And use my smaller ruler. Now this one has markings on it, so I know how far I need to. So this is a 1/4 inch here. So if I do that, I have a 1/4 inch grid. Go a little bit further, I've got a 1/2 inch. And then just follow down till my marks line up, and then quilt along. So this is what takes long. It takes a longer time to quilt is when you're doing this kind of work and you're using rulers and you're needing to be precise. And you're lining everything up. That'll take you longer. Okay. Now I just have a small area to quilt right there. And I'm going to go ahead and break thread. I think I'm going to break thread a lot on this so that I'm not building up layers of thread here in these quilting lines right in there. don't know if you can see those. This inner piece, I don't want to build up a lot of quilting along those lines. So estimate what a 1/2 inch is. And that was good. Right on the mark. It'll be easier to see this way because the ruler now is in front of the needle instead of behind it. And I think I can get one more full row. Okay, I'm gonna break there. And then I'm gonna come over here. Okay. I'm going to tuck that thread under there, kind of secure it. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the middle, doing this line here, and quilt that in. Okay, see how this looks. Bring the light over a little closer, if I can get it to cooperate with me. There we go. So there we go. This block is completed, and I like it. Okay, I want to show you from the front of the quilt what I have so far. This is the first row that I've done, and there is the setting triangle right there, and then we have the first block I did, and then I went on and did this block, and then the other setting triangle. Now I did do something a little bit different on the second block and the subsequent blocks to speed things up, and I did mark the cross hatching with that air soluble pen so that I didn't have to worry about getting that ruler aligned right on top of previous stitching. This way the lines are drawn there, and it just sped things up a little bit. So well, that's it for the quilting on this quilt. This was a fun project. I haven't done this level of quilting in a while, and it was fun to get back into doing that. Coming up next will be some close-up views of the quilting, as well as a full-length view of the quilt. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you again next time.
Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my newest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.